Get out of its way. Don't play games with it. It's a big one. Maybe as big as they've seen. And tremendous amounts of water. The storm will come, it will go. We want everybody to be safe.
We're back with this Fox News alert. President Trump warning people to evacuate as Hurricane Florence inches closer to the East Coast.
Category 4 storm heading toward the Carolinas, where millions are being urged to pack up and leave your house and head to higher ground. Forecasters are predicting up to a 13-foot storm surge.
But some are not heeding the warning and choosing to ride out the potentially life-threatening storm and stay in place.
Let's bring in the governor of the great state of North Carolina. Roy Cooper joins us right now from Raleigh. Governor, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Well, I was reading a senior meteorologist at the National Weather Service said this is the storm of a lifetime for the Carolinas. And that's your message, isn't it? If you can, get out now if you're in the affected area.
This storm is big and it's vicious. We know the storm surge is going to be significant. There'll be high winds and flooding. North Carolinians are a hardy bunch, and we've ridden out a lot of storms, hurricanes, nor'easters, other events on the coast. But this storm is different. We're telling people to obey evacuation orders. It can save your life. Yesterday, we honored all of our first responders. You don't want to put those same first responders at risk trying to save you when you should have obeyed the evacuation orders. So we're urging people to leave now, and those further inland need to hunker down, get their family emergency kit together, and be ready. The best defense is preparation and common sense. I think we're ready for this storm, but it's going to be a tough one.
Now, Governor, when we hear mandatory evacuation, what exactly does that mean? My sister's in Charleston, South Carolina, and she said a lot of her friends are deciding to stay. I said, but the governor said it's mandatory. You have to leave. So is there any repercussion for those who do decide to stay?
Well, you're ordered to leave, but sometimes you have people who will stay despite that order. And when you have that kind of situation, you can't physically make them leave. So what we're doing is we've activated 2,600 National Guard troops. We're working closely with our local and federal partners. We've established emergency shelters where people can go. And we're making sure we've done something unusual. We're distributing supplies and equipment across the state now instead of waiting for the storm to pass, because we know that this big storm is going to be widespread. Almost every North Carolinian will be affected in some way or another. So we've gone on and distributed those supplies, and we're getting ready for this thing. We'll get through it, but we know that it's going to be a tough few days and weeks, and of course there'll be long-term recovery ahead.
Governor, you're a Democrat. Obviously the president's a Republican, but at times like this you drop that party affiliation. One hopes, obviously, and the nation tries to come together for the Carolinas and up and down the East Coast. Talk about your contact with President Trump. We're going to have the FEMA chief, his FEMA official, top official, on in a little while. What do you need from the federal government right now?
I talked to the president. He promised to help. He said that the federal government would be there for North Carolina, and we're certainly going to depend on that. I also talked to the FEMA administrator, Brock Long. We're pretty much in constant contact with him and other FEMA officials who are embedded with us in North Carolina. I visited Fort Bragg yesterday, which is one of the FEMA staging areas. We have trucks of equipment and supplies. We're going to rely on the federal government to help us significantly as we respond to this storm and recover from it. Also, our local officials as well. You know, we're talking about some massive flooding here, and that's where a lot of people die, is in flooding. So we're trying to get people to high ground and get them safe. And the rain we're talking about, in some areas, it will be measured in feet instead of inches. That's the kind of storm we're talking about here. So this storm is different. It could be historic. So we've got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
All right. Governor Roy Cooper joining us today from Raleigh. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Governor. We're praying for all the residents in the Carolinas and
Thank
those
you
who
very
could be
much.
affected.
All right. Thank you.